Okay guys, everybody wanted me to show tearing one down, so here we go. We're going to give it a try and see how this works out. To start with, everybody can get them to here. It's pretty simple. You just take all your side covers off, take this off. We're sitting here ready to start disassembling the hard parts. The first thing I want you to see, I took this cover off the magneto, and look here, taking my fingers and screwed the nut off. This is one of the main reasons you never, ever just take an engine out of the box and throw it on a bike. That's just a stupid thing to do. Okay. That one's a little tighter. We'll get it off in a few. Oh, and here's another thing. Look here. That held real well too, didn't it? I'm going to finish taking this side cover off right quick while we're here. One engine, one box. All parts go in the box. That way there's no getting it mixed up with anything else. Because as you can see, I'm a pack rat. I have stuff everywhere, but when I need it and I see it laying there, it's easy for me to grab and go. Bucking bar. Ball bearing. Just that simple. All right, that was the easy part. Now all we need is a number 19, and a good little 10mm socket holds this sprocket over here really good. Except you got to get it in the frickin' hole to make it hold. And I'm not doing a very good job of that. Let's try the next side down. Some of them are a little tighter on the bills. There we go. She came loose. Magnet again. Gotta save that washer. It's not any good without that washer in there. Oh, and here's another thing. Always, before you ever put one on, you've got to check that. Oh, look at there. Broke it loose with a frickin' screwdriver. That probably wouldn't have ran 3 miles without coming apart and losing your keyway, which we all know how that works out, don't we? And the El Cheapo gear puller, believe it or not, those things actually work really well if you use them properly. And a 14 wrench is what it takes to fit it. Let me in. I'm trying to get it to let me in the magnet. There we go. It let me in. That one pulled easy enough. The Woodruff key stayed in, but it can't stay in. It gets in the way. Gets in the way big time. It'll tear everything up inside, or you'll lose it. Okay, that side's pretty much ready for this to come off. That's a different gear puller. That's the big end. I don't like these clutch pads in this. This is them damn hard rubber ones. A lot of people like them. I'm not a fan. Well, let's see how tight this one is. Hopefully it's not very tight. It just pulls right out. Some do, some don't. Some are a freaking nightmare to get out. that one came right off. Good. Okay, into the box with all that. Woodruff key. Gotta save that. Okay. That side's cleaned out. One magnet. And one Woodruff key for a magnet. Some of you guys are going to find a flat washer in here. If the engine requires it to keep that magnet flush with the field coil, then by all means put it back in there. If it pushes it out a little too far, just leave it out. But that's what it's there for. It's for alignment, aligning the magnet with the field coil. It serves its purpose well because the more surface that's lined up evenly, the more magnetic draw you're going to get from your magnet. So always keep that in mind. Okay, that side is to where it can be slid off. Now, here's where I cheat a lot. I've got this little wore out socket that I use that I put right there because I don't want to waste time on it. There it is. Pop it right out. Okay, that goes in the box with everything else. Now, basically, the only thing holding this together is these screws and that clamp. So we're going to start. This is a typical Chinese engine. They're using up their old screws in here because you can't see the Allen heads. That's okay. There's nothing to really seal that much there except that little part of the gasket back there. So we're doing okay. It's coming apart fairly good so far. And I'm using just hand tools this time for you guys so that it doesn't, so you can actually see what's going on. Because otherwise, if I grab my power tools, it just zip, and then you didn't get to see any of it. This is going rather smoothly. Nothing is put together tight. Nothing. Because you see I'm breaking these apart with these little speed wrenches pretty easy. And of course the Chinese, they like putting gaskets on absolutely everything. I guess they think they're really sealing it up to make it waterproof, but in reality, this gasket, the gasket over your ignition system, is not really that important. I know everybody thinks it is, but it's not. Some of the engines don't even have gaskets here. They actually have drain holes under there for the moisture, and those engines don't have any problems. So actually the gasket, if moisture gets in, can cause all kinds of problems because then it's trapped in there and it fills up with moisture, touches the field coils, and then you've got a real issue. Okay, that was all the screws and bolts that holds this thing together. So now we're sitting here, back these off a little, take it off, because if we're gonna strip it, we got to take this off, just like that. Okay, this case is ready to come apart, like that. There's the bearing stayed. That's a good sign. That means it should hold in the case well. It slid off the crank well. Okay, that side's going to be a little more stubborn. Sure is. Oh. Good old cheap wooden O'Reilly's hammer. That one's being stubborn. I may have to take this one over there to the deal and press it off. That means the crankshaft is a little tight on the bearing. Actually, it's a lot tight. Should have just tapped right off. But I'm going to do that. But you guys can already see how we get this down. Now in the next step, I'm going to have the naked case back together with, say, the Minarelli spacer bolted to it, and we're going to cut out some of the metal and see what we can get done that way. But right now, I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to take this over here and press the crank out so that we can get started on the case. Okay? Talk to y'all later.